Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another Iron Hill Farms video. Today we're back at clipping pasture because, as you can see, now this pasture is almost all goldenrod. So we're going to clip that down because the cow's done a good job of chewing down the grass in the middle of it. And once we clip that down, we'll stop it from being able to go to seed because it's just starting to come to flower head now. And it should be enough stress on the plants to stop them from wanting to come back later on in the season. Another thing is, now we promote the undergrowth because a lot of our broadcast seeding this spring wouldn't have had the opportunity to come because we didn't have enough moisture. But now that we've had all this rain, the moisture's in the soil there, and the seedlings should be starting to sprout. If we cut down all the goldenrod now, that'll give us the opportunity to get the sun onto that undergrowth and let those legumes and cool season grasses that we overseeded in the spring to really start taking off for the fall grazing season. That way we can try and keep ourselves on pasture as long as possible before we get on to hay. As I'm sure you've seen watching the news, hay and grain are both going to be rather expensive this year because a lot of producers in the western side of the continent really aren't getting a whole lot this year. And as a result, our hay prices even here on the eastern side of the country are starting to climb up. Well, I shouldn't say eastern side, central. Ontario's central-ish. A lot of Western Canada calls us west or eastern. But our hay crops haven't been the best, but they've been a lot better than they have some recent years. And as a result, we've got some hay that we're able to sell out that direction from the producers that have enough to sell. And as a result, it's also pushing our prices up, which isn't a bad thing. It allows those people who haven't really made much money off their hay for the last few years to possibly get a bit better bang for their buck out of what they're producing. But it also means that those of us that have cattle back here to feed, we're going to see a little bit higher prices this year if we can't produce all of our own. Gonna quickly go over what we're using for our bush hog. This is our 1966 880 David Brown Selectomatic. It's a 46 horsepower tractor, two-wheel drive, with an old bush hog that I really need to get the PTO shield replaced for. Haven't made time to go searching for one. I really should. It's an important safety device. Lots of people every year are hurt by those PTO shafts because they take the guards off. This one came without, and I'd really like to find the guard. I'll get there at some point. But this bush hog has two flail blades underneath it. Give me a second, I'll lift it up and give you a look at it. So kind of like a giant lawnmower, those blades spin around and cut the grass, or goldenrod in this case. Then adjust your grass cutting setting. You got your chains to adjust the front height, and you got this little dolly wheel on the back that gives it something to ride on. And when that gets settled down onto that guide pin there, that'll be our cut height. And this wheel badly needs the wheel bearings redone in it. Again, it's on the round to it list. Kind of like finding a new nut to replace where those vice grips are holding that bolt on. But in true farmer fashion, we keep working with what we have until we have a bit of downtime to make things work properly and safely. Because unfortunately, sometimes the safest fix and the best fix you don't have time for. And just because the sun's gone down doesn't mean that the chores end. These guys get their last bucket feeding just after 9 p.m. And as you can see, there's lots of bugs flying around. And hopefully in the next hour or two things get unwind. Thanks for watching our video today. Hope you have a good night and learn something.